Hello, welcome to my channel and to Die Cut December day 20. Today I'm going to make a with love card and I'm using these dies. There's a set of 4 layered flower dies and a circular with love die. My card blank is hammered white cardstock and it's about 5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. And I'm using a pink piece of paper from my Pretties pouch. Say that fast 10 times. If I remember correctly, I made this pink piece of paper by brayering some Distress Oxide onto my glass media mat and then spritzing on some water and just pressing the paper down into it. This paper is what I'm going to use to cut out my circular die, and I'm going to cut out 7 of them because 7 of these circles run almost perfectly from the top to the bottom of my card. To give these little circles a bit more definition, I'm using some Sizzix Luster Wax in copper. It's a gilding type wax, and using a detail brush to brush it on in a kind of distressed look, I suppose. I'm not trying to get a perfect luster on it, but it just brings out the detail of the lettering and adds a little bit of coppery warm shimmer. So I did that to all 7 of my circles, and then I stuck them on my card in a straight line from top to bottom. And as I said, the 7 circles fit almost perfectly from the top to the bottom. I used my T-square ruler for this. I figured out where I wanted it, I taped it down to stop it shifting around, and then I took each of the circles in turn, dipped it in glue, tapped off the excess on a bit of deli paper, and then ran them up the page, making sure to butt the circle up against the ruler and to get the words as horizontal as possible. So once that was done, I turned to the flower dies and I cut out some of the petals in vellum and some in copper glitter cardstock, and I assembled my flowers starting with vellum petals and then the next size down in glitter cardstock and then the next size down in vellum. So the flowers go vellum, glitter, vellum. And I think having these layers stops the flowers being too heavy. I didn't want to make them all glitter cardstock because that would have been too much for this card, I think. If you stick around to the end of the video, there's a couple of photos of another version of this card that I made. I did make it twice. I made this card, let's call it the portrait version because it's tall and thin, and I made a landscape version, a short and wide version with the circles running across the width. So do check that out and let me know which one you prefer. I decided to arrange my 3 flowers towards the top of the card in a cascading fashion, with the largest at the top and the smallest at the bottom. I then felt that I needed some splatters in the background, so I cut myself a mask out of some scrap paper and put that where I wanted it, where my flowers were going to go, and took some metallic copper paint and splattered it gently so that I didn't overwhelm the card. I want this to still be a clean and simple card, so I'm restraining my splatters to the focal point, and the mask just helps me to do that. Once the splatters were dry, I used tacky glue to stick my flowers in place. I only used a dot in the middle of the back of each flower so that the petals could lift up from the card and have some nice floaty dimension. Apologies once again for the sound of my voice. I'm still fighting this virus off, so hopefully normal service will resume soon. To add the centres to my flowers, I used a fairly big blob of copper Nouveau drops. I did manage to get the little flower centre in the wrong place the first time I tried, but it's fairly simple just to wipe it off and then reapply it. And then for some finishing touches, I just dotted around a few more Nouveau drops in and about my focal point. And that's it, that's this card finished. I hope you've enjoyed the video and that it's given you some ideas of ways to use similar dies that you might have in your stash. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 21 of Die Cut December. Bye for now.